Good morning, madam and my fellow friends. Today we're going to start with topic 10, capacity strategy. Capacity is defined as the ability to achieve, store, and produce. So in an organization, capacity would be the ability of a given system to produce output within a specific period of time. But in operations, the management capacity is different. It is referred as an amount of input resources available to produce relative output over a period of time. Next is the examples of why capacity strategy is important. The first example is the level of capacity company will affect its ability to be responsive to its customers and its ability to compete with other competitors. Second, if there is a lack of capacity, customer needs are not served as quickly as these customers may be lost to its competitors. On the other hand, capacity is about resources, and the resources cost money. If the capacity is exceeded, it means that the company money is being spent inefficiently. Next is the strategic capacity planning. It is a technique used to identify and measure overall capacity of production, and the strategic capacity planning is utilized for capital-intensive resources like plant, machinery, and labor. It is quite essential as it helps the organization in meeting the future requirements of the organization. The planning ensures that operating costs are maintained at the minimum possible level without affecting the quality. It also ensures that organization remains competitive and can achieve the long-term growth plan. There are also 4 types of capacity planning. The first is lead strategy. It is an upfront investment in more capacity that you need can be done when capacity is inexpensive or difficult to obtain. For example, a new vineyard anticipates using less than 10 acres of land in its first 5 years but purchase 100 acres of land as a long-term investment in the business. The second type of capacity planning is the lag strategy. It is the waiting until your current capacity is stretched to its limits before adding more capacity. For example, a call center with 10 staff that doesn't hire more employees until everyone is working overtime. The third strategy is the incremental strategy. It is the adding capacity in small increments when you approach full capacity. For example, a data center that adds 20 sales when its capacity touches 90%. And the last strategy is dynamic strategy. It is the adding capacity, large or small, before its requirement based on forecasts. For example, a data center that adds 200 sales based on next month's sales forecast. Moving on, it is a capacity and consideration. The capacity management affects all areas of an operation. The capacity measures the rate that the operation can transform input into outputs. It is also about the quantity of product, service that can be made given within a period of time. So for example, the number of passengers per flight in an aeroplane, or the numbers of patients that can be seen in a surgery session, and also the number of mobile phones that can be produced by a week in a factory. It is also defined as the number of units, which is goods or services in an operation that can produce over a given time period, and also by under normal working conditions where there is no additional resources are deployed. Also, in many instances, capacity may be simple to calculate. However, more difficult questions might be how many fire engines should an airport have on standby, or how many operations should a surgeon schedule. Also, what service levels should be offered to a broadband customers. Besides that, on managing demand, the attempt to manipulate or control demand may be unfamiliar to an operation manager. However, it is possible by using the marketing tools to smooth demand in line with required forecasts of some products or services. Many of the tools suggested may be short-term measures. However, it is important that the adjustments made do not damage the potential long-term demand. Some methods of demand adjustment may include varying the price. It is a discounted price of an elastic demand curve product, there can be strong incentive for a customer to buy more products. This happens regularly into supermarkets with price discounting. This is actually very effective with advertising. Next is providing an incentive for off-peak service or product. This works well with service to help smooth demand throughout a given period of time. The good example of this off-peak rate in gym or the happy hour in bars, which are both used often at the peaks in demand and increased utilization of wasted capacity of quieter times. The third is additional marketing. It can create awareness of a product that wasn't there before. And the fourth is alternative products or services. This could be provided using some capacity and skills levels but smoothing demand.
Here are 8 tactics for matching capacity. Service sector demand and capacity management. The literature on capacity management focuses on goods and manufacturing, and many writers assume that services are merely goods with a few odd characteristics. Fortunately, these researchers never fully explore the implications of these strange traits. Services are direct, they cannot be inventoried. The perishability of service leaves the manager without an important buffer that is available to manufacturing managers. There is a high degree of producer-consumer interactions in the production of service, which is a mixed blessing. On the one hand, consumers are a source of productive capacity, but on the other, the consumer's role creates uncertainty of managers about the process time, the product's quality, and the facilities accommodations of the consumer's needs. Because the service cannot be transported, the consumer must be brought to the service delivery system or the system to the consumer. Because of the integrable nature of a service output, establishing and measuring capacity levels for a service operation are often highly subjective and qualitative tasks. Managing demand. Under managing demand, it have demand access capacity, second, capacity access demand, and third, adjusting to seasonal demand. For additional information of managing demand, as I stated before, demand access capacity. When demand access capacity, the firm may be able to curtail demand simply by raising prices, scheduling long lead time, and discouraging marginally profitable business. However, because inadequate facility reduce revenue below what is possible, the long-term solution is usually to increase capacity. Second is capacity access demand. When capacity access demand, the firm may want to stimulate demand through product reductions or aggressive marketing, or it may accommodate the market through product change when decreasing customer demand is combined with all an inflexible process. Layoffs and plant closings may be necessary to bring capacity in line with demand. Third, adjusting to seasonal demands. A seasonal or cyclical pattern of demand is another capacity challenge. Management may find it helpful to offer products with complementary demand patterns, that is, products for which the demand is high for one when low for the others. By combining products that have complementary seasonal patterns, capacity can be better utilized. For example, in Figure 1, the firm is adding a line of snowmobile motors to its line of jet ski to smooth demand.
Next is the demand management. Inside the demand management is including demand strategy, marketing strategy, demand forecast, supply and demand plan, and the sales plan. While capacity management, including implement capacity planning, determine if existing hardware is meeting the company's needs, determine the company's future needs, identify opportunities to consolidate, and the last one is determine whether the existing infrastructure can support anticipated growth.